The Chicago Sky are one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen. And today, their coach literally just waved the white flag. He quit. He literally just said, Phoenix Mercury, destroy us even more than you're destroying us right now. He basically benched all of his starters not long into the third quarter, just gave up.
The Sky's 3-9 record isn't just disappointing, it is one of the worst starts in WNBA history. But nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, could have prepared us for the absolute surrender we witnessed against the Phoenix Mercury, where Coach Tyler Marsh essentially waved the white flag and benched his entire starting lineup in the third quarter like a man who'd rather be literally anywhere else on planet Earth.
Chicago Sky is more like Chicago, why are you on TV? Like, they're an embarrassment, bro. There's a reason why the Indiana Fever are on TV all the time, because they actually have a good product, when they have a good game, even a bad game, they're still actually fun to watch. This is horrible. Chicago Sky is an embarrassment, bro. The WNBA definitely screwed up having this game as a national televised game. They screwed up bad.
The Chicago Sky entered their matchup against Phoenix having lost 5 of their last 6 games. They were already averaging a league-worst 18.9 turnovers per game, a number so astronomical it makes the 1999 Washington Mystics' 21.1 turnovers look almost respectable. This isn't just struggling. This is the basketball equivalent of watching someone try to perform brain surgery with oven mitts while blindfolded.
I don't know what's wrong with them, but like, they could lose this game by 40. Like, I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with this team, because today it wasn't even, I don't even think that this was an effort thing. Like, I don't even think this was an effort problem. But at the end of the day, like, they're just not good.
The game against Phoenix wasn't just a loss. It was a public execution, broadcast in high definition. The Mercury came out swinging, establishing a commanding 31-18 lead in the first quarter, while the Sky committed 8 turnovers that led to 13 Phoenix points. But here's where it gets absolutely delicious. Tyler Marsh, the man hired to resurrect this franchise, literally threw in the towel midway through the third quarter.
Because, and Chicago Sky fans, hell, they're ready to run Tyler Marsh's ass out. I mean, the way he's playing Angel Reese, I'm going to be real with you. I mean, the one thing she could do was rebound the ball, and he has taken that away. He has taken that away. So much for coming off a triple-double.
Phoenix Mercury was shooting 56.5% from the field and an absurd 57.1% from three-point range. They opened the third quarter with an 11-3 run, extending their lead to 25 points, and Tyler Marsh looked around his bench like a captain preparing to abandon ship. He benched both Angel Reese and Reese Cardoso, essentially telling the basketball world that he'd rather preserve his players' dignity than watch them get further humiliated.
Yeah, I think that we got a couple players that are banged up, so we want to be mindful of minutes. I think that when the game got out of hand there midway through the third, for us there was more preservation at that point, and players were almost at their limit anyway, being on a back-to-back, and so we wanted to be mindful of that. And if the game wasn't as out of hand, then maybe it would have looked different. But we got to be healthy and ready to go into Atlanta tomorrow. We got 3 games in 4 days with LA on that following Tuesday. So we got to be mindful of having healthy bodies so that we can give us as good of an effort as we can going into tomorrow's game.
The final score? A soul-crushing 107-86 defeat that saw Phoenix break triple digits for the first time all season. The Mercury shot a season-high 17 three-pointers, while the Sky turned the ball over 21 times. Sammy Whitcomb alone hit 5 three-pointers in the second quarter, turning the United Center into her personal shooting gallery. This wasn't just basketball. This was a public service announcement about what happens when potential meets reality, and reality brings a sledgehammer.
I am here to tell you guys, man, when it comes to the Chicago Sky, no one could have predicted that this team was going to be this bad. I mean, they are horrible, bro. I mean, my goodness. If you guys haven't heard by now, the Chicago Sky has lost another damn basketball game, this time to the hands of the Phoenix Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury put BTA all over the Chicago Sky. And I'm here to tell you, Tyler Marsh is getting the focal point of the blame, bro. But to me, you have to blame the players of this damn basketball team, starting with the leader of the team. I just gotta be honest. That is Princess Barbie Angel Reese. Man, she's been trash. Just horrendous. I just gotta be honest.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. But perhaps the most painful part of this entire circus isn't the losses. It's watching Angel Reese try to spin this disaster into something resembling optimism during post-game interviews. The woman has become a masterclass in cognitive dissonance, standing in front of cameras talking about staying poised and looking for the next shot while shooting a career-low 31.3% from the field. In her most recent interviews, Reese has been serving up word salad with extra delusion dressing. After the Mercury game, she talked about maximizing off turnovers and getting those 50/50 balls while her team was getting out-rebounded by players half her size. The woman managed just 2 rebounds in a game where rebounding is supposedly her specialty, and she's out here talking about taking things personal like she's been personally victimized by the basketball rim.
Angel Reese got completely exposed today, man. Y'all see how she only took 1 shot today versus the Mercury and only had 2 rebounds? This goes to show she can't get all those rebounds without taking hella shots, getting her own misses, man. You've been completely exposed today, bricklaying sloth. Completely. When you ain't taking all these shots and missing all these goddamn layups and shit, you can't get your rebounds. So your rebounds go down because no missed shots, no rebounds, man.
The most telling moment came when Reese addressed her Bet Sportswoman of the Year award, claiming she doesn't complain and comes to work every day. This is the same player who went 0 for 8 from the field against the Liberty and managed to turn basketball into interpretive dance. She's averaging 9.1 points on 30.9% shooting through the first 7 games, numbers that would make a high school JV player blush with embarrassment. What makes these interviews particularly cringeworthy is the forced positivity. Reese keeps talking about giving ourselves grace and being super happy where we are as a team right now. This is like being on the Titanic and praising the quality of the ice cubes. The woman is shooting 28% from within 3 feet, the basketball equivalent of missing layups in an empty gym. And she's out here talking about expanding her range to include mid-range shots.
Obviously, this is my 3rd one. Obviously, it really meant something to other people today because it's me. And I just focus on basketball. I come into work every day and work. I don't complain. I don't care about anything else. I have bad days. I haven't been playing well at all. And I can sit here and just mope around and point the finger, but it's been me. And I take accountability. I come in every day and try to be better than the next and better than the last. And I know my teammates trust me. I know they have my back. Ariel has my back for everything. And I just love that being a part of a team that I know really trusts me and trusts my work, and everything else is everything else. I'm just here just to come to work every day and go home. That's all I want to do, is just come to work and being able to enjoy my job that I love. People would die and kill to have this job. And being able to play with the best players in the world means a lot to me. I put my all in this. I do.
Tyler Marsh came to Chicago with championship pedigree, having helped the Las Vegas Aces win back-to-back WNBA titles. The man was supposed to be the basketball whisperer who could unlock Angel Reese's potential and turn Kamala Cardoso into a dominant force. Instead, he's become the poster child for what happens when unrealistic expectations meet immovable incompetence. The breaking point came during that 3rd quarter against Phoenix when Marsh looked at his bench like a man calculating his exit strategy. With his team down by 25 points and the game spiraling into complete chaos, he made the decision that will haunt his coaching reputation. He pulled his starters and essentially forfeited the game. This was not strategic rest, This was surrender with a capital S. Marsh's post-game explanation was peak damage control, talking about player preservation and being mindful of minutes on a back-to-back schedule.
So I had to spin the block. Tyler Marsh, it's time to go. You still have no game plan for the Chicago Sky. And it seems like the games where you're only running offense through Camilla and you don't have offense at least through somebody else is no plan for that. They're getting blown out extremely bad. I don't understand it.
But anyone with functioning eyeballs could see what really happened. The man had watched enough basketball carnage and decided his players' mental health was more important than competitive integrity. It's the coaching equivalent of calling your mom to pick you up from a sleepover because the other kids are being mean. The most damning part? This wasn't an isolated incident of frustration. Marsh has been delivering increasingly blunt post-game messages, telling reporters we can't continue to beat ourselves after watching his team commit 22 turnovers against the Liberty. The man hired to develop elite players has instead become a full-time damage control specialist, spending more time explaining failures than celebrating successes. His comments about the team's turnover problem are particularly telling. We've had more offensive possessions than the opposing team, but we've hurt ourselves with turnovers, and a lot of that is our own doing. This is coach speak for, my players are basketball chaos agents, and I'm running out of ways to explain it to the media without getting fired.
Tyler Marsh, he has to figure out how to get experience in understanding basketball. As far as the instincts of it, the right adjustments, and the flow of the game. He doesn't have a lot of experience in that aspect. And he struggles with that. And I think that's a huge problem with him. He struggles with that aspect of understanding the game, when to call timeouts, how to manage his players on the court and off the court, putting him in position to win.
To truly appreciate the magnitude of this collapse, we need to understand just how historically bad the Chicago Sky have been. Their 0-4 start tied the worst beginning in franchise history, and things have only gotten worse since then. The team's 60-point differential through their first 2 games was the worst mark through 2 games in WNBA history. But it's not just the record. It's the manner of these defeats that makes this season so uniquely awful. The Sky scored just 52 points against Indiana, their lowest total since 2011. They've given up 91 or more points in 4 consecutive games while struggling to crack 80 points themselves. This isn't just losing. This is basketball persecution on a biblical scale. The defensive statistics tell an even more horrifying story. Chicago has the worst defensive rating in the league at 113.6, allowing opponents to score 94.3 points per game. They're the only team that hasn't held an opponent under 90 points all season. Teams are shooting 45.1% from three-point range against them, turning every game into an unintentional three-point contest.
Tyler Marsh, okay, this might sound harsh, but I believe at this point he needs to be fired, along with many other players for our Chicago Sky. It's not just Tyler Marsh. It's not just a coaching issue. It's also a player issue. Rebecca Allen is just pretty much pointless. Haley Van Lith, pointless. We all know Kia Nurse has no business. Kia Nurse, along with Rachel Bannum, have no business being on our Chicago.
Perhaps the most tragic subplot in this disaster is watching Camila Cardoso's talent get buried under the rubble of team dysfunction. The woman scored 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting against Phoenix, a performance that should have been celebrated but instead got overshadowed by the team's complete collapse. The body language tells the entire story. Multiple reports have documented Cardoso's visible frustration during games, particularly when Reese goes into her signature routine of missing shots and creating offensive chaos. During sequences where the team's offensive flow breaks down, Cardoso has been spotted looking toward the bench, like someone seeking emergency evacuation from a natural disaster. When Marsh benched both players in the third quarter, it wasn't just about rest, it was about preserving what little dignity remained. Cardoso had been playing efficient basketball while her teammate was busy redefining what it means to struggle with basic post moves. The decision to sit both players simultaneously sent a clear message. Even the good performances can't overcome systemic failure.
Hey, Camila Cardoso was killing it in this game. 7 of 9 from the field, 77.8%. That's how a big is supposed to shoot. All right. Angel only shot the ball once. She did have 6 free throws, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 points. Camila had 17. And I got to tell you, some of these players can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. It was ugly.
The Chicago Sky's problems extend far beyond individual performances or coaching decisions. This is a franchise-wide identity crisis that started with unrealistic expectations and has spiraled into complete organizational dysfunction. Instead, they've created a roster that can't defend, can't shoot, and can't protect the basketball. The turnover statistics alone tell the story of a team that's forgotten the basic fundamentals of basketball. Averaging 18.9 turnovers per game isn't just bad, it's historically catastrophic. For context, successful WNBA teams typically average around 13 or 14 turnovers per game. The Sky are essentially giving their opponents 5-6 extra possessions every night, then acting surprised when they lose by double digits. But these are excuses that championship-caliber organizations don't need to make. Good teams find ways to compete regardless of circumstances. The Sky have found ways to make every circumstance worse.
Also true is that this roster unfortunately was not built for success. With Courtney Vandersloot going down with the ACL injury, I just don't know how the Sky are going to weather this. See, teams have the Chicago Sky figured out. They figured out that they can go crazy from behind the arc because the Chicago Sky's perimeter defense is just not there. It's not effective. I was on the floor. I saw them fighting to get around these screens. They just can't get there. Whatever.
As we watch this season continue to unfold, the question isn't whether the Chicago Sky can turn things around. Tyler Marsh's decision to bench his starters mid-game might have been the right call for player preservation, but it also marked the moment when competitive integrity took a backseat to damage control. Angel Reese's continued struggles have become appointment television for basketball masochists who enjoy watching potential get murdered in broad daylight. Her interviews have evolved from optimistic to delusional to whatever category describes talking about improvement while regressing in real time. The woman is shooting worse than her rookie season while claiming she's expanding her game. It's like watching someone claim they're learning to fly while falling off a cliff. Anyone who watched Reese's college tape could see the shooting struggles. Anyone who understood WNBA-level competition knew that raw athleticism wouldn't be enough. But the Sky organization chose to ignore these warning signs and instead built their entire identity around players who weren't ready for the responsibility.
You guys spent the week working on handling pressure, and then this game was tough. I guess, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I think sometimes handling pressure is mental as much as it is physical, and we didn't do it consistently enough tonight. Another 20-plus point or 20-plus turnover game, which is it's tough to win when you add that with giving up 2 30-point quarters. To a team as good as Phoenix, it makes it tough.
Tyler Marsh's coaching tenure has become a cautionary tale about what happens when championship pedigree meets immovable dysfunction. His decision to wave the white flag against Phoenix might have been practical, but it also symbolized the complete surrender of competitive expectations. The Chicago Sky's 2025 season will be remembered as one of the most spectacular organizational failures in recent WNBA history. It's a masterclass in how unrealistic expectations, poor player development, and stubborn denial can combine to create basketball disasters that entertain neutral observers while crushing the souls of actual fans. And somewhere in Chicago, Tyler Marsh is probably updating his resume while Angel Reese practices her next post-game interview about staying positive through adversity.